Here we are, y'all. Sunspot Thirsty Thursday coming at ya. I'm giving you a sneak peek into what it looks like inside my lair
Thank you so much.
today. Don't have the key on, but we're happy. Not yet. But we're happy.
Scott,
to hang
you're
out
going to
with everybody.
bring me one of those too, right?
Right? Is he
Scott,
sneaking
Ben's
in?
requesting a drink. He said he'll be right there.
Oh, all right, all right. So anyway, Thursday night,
Contact free delivery.
I
feeling
came prepared
good.
this time. Last week I was behind the game, but
You got the big mug tonight, huh?
Yes.
well, yeah, we're going to toast like 10 people right off the bat, you know?
Right. I am going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a watch party from my the usual thing I do. Start a watch party. So if you're watching, from the watch party, hey Bart, how you doing? That's our first
Our first oofta.
first toast. 1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Oofta.
Oofta.
Sounds good. Man, I gotta say, the sunny weather surely improves my disposition.
Hells yes.
Oh, it was sunny today?
It yes, it was certainly sunny today, Miss Wendy.
I guess I should have left my lair. No, I'm just kidding. I did have the windows open. It was nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, it still was a little chilly. Oh, and now we got Stu. Wendy's in the middle this week. Now I'm all confused.
Uh-oh.
That's
Sorry,
right.
didn't mean to throw you off.
We're trying to screw you up there, Stu. Hey, but Stu, as a Patreon, he gets another cheers.
Hey.
Stu, 1.
Good to see you, Stu.
2,
3.
Oofta.
Oofta.
So, fantastic. All right. Well, I tell you what, though. I do believe that my song finished. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we were just rendering.
That's awesome.
We were just rendering stuff at the last minute here.
That's the thing with these quarantine videos is they're like it's a bit of work to try to cram in, and so we're always like
yeah, it's constant.
the day of the thing we're always like panic rendering everything, and so I've got mine is uploading right now too, and I'm praying it gets up in time because I really want you guys to see it, but.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If the internet gods are nice, because they kicked me out last time.
Well, the internet gods are not going to kick you out today. And so actually, you know what? We should kick off. Hey, and there's Mark. All right. Before we get there, we're going to have to go down the list. All right. Because I was about to introduce
Hey,
the
there's
song.
my dad.
Hey, Earl.
Okay, and now to really mix it up. Hey, who knows?
Oh, God, what's going on?
Now we're back.
Oh,
I'm in the middle. I could not take being on the end. I need to be in the middle. I'm OCD about that.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, but Wendy you should let Wendy be in the middle for a week.
It's okay. I'm cool over here.
I
don't mind being over here.
Okay, I tell you what, she's back.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
there we go.
Back in the middle, Wendy, just like you like.
Stuck in the middle with you guys.
Okay, so let's get on the list of hellos real quick, and we'll put on a song.
Clowns to the
switch
left
up
of me.
cameras here.
Jokers to the right.
Here I am.
Stuck in the
middle with you.
Hey, Bart says he's feeling especially good tonight. So let's.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, all right,
I don't like
Bart.
that.
I
don't
love
like
that. That's so
Okay.
nice to hear.
Megan,
So nice to hear.
don't leave your lair tomorrow. High of 46.
Yeah, it's going to be 28
Wait,
overnight
Yeah.
we need.
tomorrow.
Okay, 2 things. Number 1,
Oh,
we got a toast to Megan. So Megan, this
Yes.
is for you. This Johnny Walker's for you. 1, 2, 3. Oof.
cheers, Megan. Moved on.
And number 2, it is gonna freeze again overnight. So watch your petunias.
Oh. Hey, my petunias are none of your business.
And Mr. Yeager. Oofta.
Hey,
Well, all right.
all right.
We got the toast to him.
That's awesome.
Mr. Yeager,
Yes.
good to see you, sir. Hope things are doing
Right.
okay in Florida.
Without him, I wouldn't be
I
here.
think he's
So.
right, and he's
Exactly.
Florida, aren't they?
That would suck.
Isn't Florida already done from the lockdown or whatever? So he's probably golfing as we speak. Well, probably not right now. But
He said they opened up the beaches, I think.
all right. Well, he's at the beach watching us from the beach. Mark Johnson, Minnesota. 1, 2, 3. Oofda.
Oofda.
Okay. They get finished just in Quarantine.
Scott
Scott is just
funny.
He's breaking them out tonight, and I got to give him a round of applause.
That's true though with the videos. And I always feel so frustrated because I want to just keep spending more and more time on it, but it's like, time to go live. Gotta go.
Brian Williams from Milwaukee. How you doing, Brian? I hope that you and yours are doing great. So, hi, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Yes. All right. Okay. It was just good to knock out some introductions and stuff like that right away. And I love that.
And thank you all for joining us once again for another Night of Madness.
All right. I just hit the air horn. You guys couldn't hear that, but they could hear it. They could hear it in the
I
chat.
would have jumped.
Air horn.
In the chat. Yep, the hip hop air horn. So let's jam out a song here real quick.
Jam it out.
Let's start with this song. Actually, is 5 years old now, which I have a hard time believing it's 5 years old. But it's 5 years old, and it was dedicated to Leonard Nimoy, who passed away now 5 years ago. And I have a hard time believing it's been 5 years already that Leonard Nimoy died. But this was our song dedicated to Leonard Nimoy when he passed. And it was based on Star Trek V. Because in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, the one directed by William Shatner, it's often considered the worst of the Star Trek films. I think it has its charms. I saw it in 6th grade. It came out the same summer as Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Ghostbusters 2. Also considered the worst films of their franchise. So maybe 1989 was not the year. Well, 1989 did have Batman. Batman was pretty hot.
That part with the Statue of Liberty in Ghostbusters 2 is pretty hot, though.
I think there's a lot of Ghostbusters 2 that's super funny.
Yeah.
So I will stand up for Ghostbusters 2 that it made me laugh. But so Leonard, anyway, in Star Trek V, the whole idea is that Spock's half brother, Sybok, commandeers the Enterprise to take them to the center of the universe where he thinks he'll find God. He thinks the Vulcan God is at the center of the universe. This place called Shakari. And the reason they call it Shakari is because they originally wanted Sybok to be played by Sean Connery, but he didn't want to do a conflict with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade because they knew they were coming out the same summer. And so he didn't want to do he couldn't schedule it. So Sean Connery decided not to be in Star Trek V. And so they got a guy that really looks like Sean Connery to play the character Sybok. And anyway, Shakari was where the Vulcan god lived. So the idea of the song is just that they never really talk about Vulcan heaven. But if Vulcan did have a heaven, it would be that. And here's our song dedicated to that, Shakari. Double click the thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, being young ain't always fun, and growing up ain't easy when you're just a little different and your best friend is your TV. You might never be a hero or get along with your peers, but you might learn to be human from a dude with pointy ears. Well, the bad guys are always wrong and the good guys always won, and we learn how to play the game. But now my favorite shows, they all star anti-heroes, and reruns just ain't the same. Well, in a world a little sick, yeah, we use some more logic. And who taught you the needs of the many are greater than the needs of the one? And who taught you that just wearing a goatee makes you an evil son of a gun? You were the only one who tried to talk to devil in the dark, 'cause you were bred from different stock, like those of us who missed the mark. See you in Shakari, my mister. Spock stopped the jocks taking over in Space Seed, and he always kept his cool when Bones would call him a half-breed. And we all tried the nerf pinch on other kids on the playground. Till 13 at least, I still believe that move could knock you out. Damn, In Search of was the show that made it cool for UFOs. It weirded out my little mind. As it could get, he sang a song about the high bed. Somebody must have been high. Well, in a world we don't quite fit, could use some more of your logic. And who taught you the needs of the many are greater than the needs of the one? And who taught you that just wearing a goatee makes you an evil son of a gun? Well, from Captain Kirk's super ego into the dark mind of Van Gogh, so much of what I know came from your heart. We'll see you in Shakari, my mister. Greater than the needs of the one. And who taught you that just wearing a goatee makes you an evil son of a gun? You were the only one who tried to talk to the devil in the dark, 'cause you were bred from different stock, like those of us who missed the mark. See you in Shakari, my mister.
Live long and prosper.
All right, that was Shakari. And you guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm going to switch cameras until I look a little bit more sexy, and I'll be right back.
Wait, I think what you mean is you're going to be going to a different location, right, Mike? You're going to be heading to a secret location.
That's right. Oh, and here I am at the Sunspot Studio. All of a sudden,
magic.
I'm here.
You must have a secret passageway.
It's in my basement. I'm sneaking around. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So hellos and cheerses that we have to do.
Oh yes, so many.
Okay. Have to do like hold a gun to our head.
That's right. Okay. So since then, Stacy came in with a live long and prosper.
Stacy, live long and prosper. Patreon.
I'm gonna have to run upstairs and get to the drink pretty soon.
Me too.
And the problem is, I thought I poured a lot today, so I was like, I'll be fine because.
I know this was a very generous pour that Scott poured me. So, yes. But it's already.
Abby.
I was
from Racine. Hey, Abby, we got 1, 2, 3. Oof data you.
I was pretty excited when you chose Shakari this week because I just finished Discovery last night, season 2.
Oh,
so there's a lot of Spock. There is a lot of Spock in that season. Like episodes 2 through 5 of season 2 were like a total snoozer, but then the rest of the season was a barn burner.
All right, well I'll have to finish it up. I stopped at like episode 6, so I'll have to get back.
Oh, that's right when it starts getting good.
Megan, love
I'm
your
way
song
behind
so much.
you.
The violin is such a nice color.
Aw.
So that's a compliment to you, Wendy.
I'm glad that you like it. That warms my heart.
Oh, and Terry and George are in. George, who has the actually, I still have like a Star Trek book that George loaned me. I'm gonna have to finish that, George. And a cheers to Terry and George. Patreon cheers. 1, 2, 3. Oofta.
Oofta.
Stu says, very cool that Wendy dressed the part for the tune. You know,
Thank you.
I still have my Star Trek uniform that I've had for 24 years.
I was happy
for the busted that out.
I was happy to have the opportunity to wear my TOS dress.
Yeah. And
I like what I had already completed like 2 takes of the part before I remembered, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I should be wearing the dress.
Right.
So
Stephanie from Milwaukee. Once again, congrats on your recent graduation from Maya.
Yes.
Damn, Wendy, that violin solo was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Look at that.
I'm glad you liked it.
Boy, they're just eating up that fucking violin, aren't they?
It's a magic violin. It just plays itself, basically.
Andy Pfeiffer. Music like that is why you guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
Aww.
Andy. We really
Thanks,
appreciate
Andy.
that. Home pour, Scott. That's right. Ready to party. Phil Hernandez. Y'all sound great as always.
Dude.
What can I say?
Oh my gosh, Phil from Tulsa.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
Phil had a super sweet bar where we did a whole bunch of Jägermeister, if I remember correctly. So we put, thank you, Phil. I hope everything's going well in Oklahoma. You guys are staying healthy, having fun, and it's probably already warm there, so enjoy that.
Oh yeah, it's lovely.
Yes. Okay.
We're about to get slammed by the polar vortex, I guess.
We are. Well, yes. It is a polar vortex, and the big thing is it's later in the year this year. So if you guys can hear me better now, sorry, I just got the message that I might be a little bit low, and so if you guys can hear me better now, let me know if I am coming through loud and clear. Okay.
Got low.
So we are going to get the polar vortex. So anyway, we're going to get hit right in the between the cheeks with that one tomorrow. But that's
nice
okay.
Thing is, no one's driving around in the snow. Well, people are the
essential workers
people who are actually getting stuff done. But a lot of there will be a lot less traffic on the roads, so hopefully that will make it easier for those who do have. And to drive.
Also, it will be cheaper for them to go, even though gas is up to $1.49. Okay. You know what I was thinking today? So last week we did some would you rather games, and today I was thinking we could do it was on my phone. And let me find it. No, it was these icebreaker questions that they actually were very thoughtful icebreaker questions.
Not like, would you rather have a belly button or 2 nipples?
No, there was something about would you rather not have nipples.
The one nipple last week.
Yes.
That's right. 2 belly buttons or 1 nipple. Oh, gosh.
I went with the one, I think I went with the 1 nipple last week.
Yeah, so is the man with the golden gun, no, he has an extra nipple. So he's got 3 nipples in the man with the golden gun. Played by Christopher Lee. We actually did a whole podcast about
Christopher Lee.
We did a whole podcast about him and his different genre projects and stuff like that. My favorite story about Christopher Lee is while they were making the 2 Towers, there's a scene where somebody gets stabbed, and in the background, the side, it's murder by stabbing. And Peter Jackson's the director, and they do the scene, and Christopher Lee, who played Saruman, the evil wizard, he had to come up. He's like, that's not what it sounds like when someone gets stabbed to death. And Peter Jackson is like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's just not what it sounds like when somebody gets stabbed to death. because
you know that
because Christopher Lee served in like British intelligence. And I'm not sure exactly what he served in the Second World War, but he served in the kind of thing where he probably stabbed a dude to death. He really didn't
heard the sound of a stab.
He didn't talk about his Second World War stories very much because it wasn't something he liked to relive. Some people like to relive old war stories. I guess when you're stabbing people in the back or whatever, you don't like to go back there. But yeah, so he was like,
wait, where does the in the back come from?
Well, I mean, they were stabbed in a certain way. I can't remember the story because I'm just talking off the top of my head. Oh, Pamela. Thirsty Thursday is the highlight of my week. Love your chat and your music.
Aww,
I have autographs from Nichelle Nichols, George Takei, and James Doohan. Well, Pamela, you get a cheers for that. 1, 2, 3, oofda.
Oofda.
In our episode about the Milwaukee Mafia and the ghost stories surrounding the Mafia in Milwaukee, you find out that Nichelle Nichols used to be an exotic dancer. Like in the early 60s, and she would dance at this club in Milwaukee. She was a touring dancer. She would often come to Milwaukee, and she had like a sugar daddy in the Milwaukee mob. So Lieutenant Uhura used to come to Wisconsin to be with her mobster sugar daddy. And I just thought that was awesome. And you can see that because, talking about Star Trek V, she shows off her dancing moves at the beginning of Star Trek V. And even I saw when I was 13, and Uhura's like dancing like like all sexy or whatever, and she uses it as a diversion. But I was 13, I was like, ooh, just like Uhura, nice. And this is obviously 25 years after the original series, 1965, so 24, years after the original series. So she still had those moves even as a seasoned citizen. Uhura. So she learned those moves right in our hometown, guys. So that's proud. That's
something to be proud of.
That's Milwaukee pride. That is Milwaukee pride. Yes, Andy's like, Christopher Lee did have the extra nipple in The Man with the Golden Gun. That was pointless. Right. That's just like one of those things that they put in there that, Ian Fleming probably put in there to make it salacious. And also as a way to recognize who Scaramanga, the Man with the Golden Gun, the assassin, was. Anyway, I can't find the icebreaker questions that I was looking at. I was looking at adult, but not necessarily that adult like
adult,
not like adult like stuff that's just like dirty stuff. It was just more like things that would be interesting to adults, and not necessarily the prurient interest. Our dirty minds. Hey, Sharon. Better late than never. Absolutely.
Always happy to have you, Sharon.
With a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a
oofta.
Coming from Minneapolis, Sharon, I was thinking about you today as I sucked down a Surly Furious after dinner. Because I remember, didn't you have a keg of hell at your anniversary? I believe it was a keg of Surly Hell.
God.
And that was the first
time I had
that.
So much good beer. That was ridiculous.
Yes, that was fantastic. Okay. So just some silly things. Wendy, I'm going to start with you. If you could live in any sitcom, which one would it be?
Oh, no.
Bonus points if you can sing the theme song.
Well, okay. I'm afraid I have to go with Cheers. And obviously I can sing the theme song.
Okay.
From start to finish.
Okay.
But yeah, Cheers is just such a great, hilarious show. Another favorite show of mine is The Golden Girls. But I feel
that's what I thought you would say. But a sitcom to live in, though.
Yeah, exactly. And as much as I love Florida, I'm not ready to be in the elderly section of the live-in part. Although those Golden Girls, they got pretty wild sometimes. So,
especially
I could
Blanche,
sing either.
Right? Especially she got wild. She got nasty.
Yeah, Blanche liked to party.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's my choices, I'd say. And I love Cheers, even though someone pointed out to me that it's very unrealistic, because the bar nobody really gets surly or out of control. Like they don't have, in a typical bar where you got to deal with a lot of stuff.
Oh, I thought you would say the Golden Girls, but I would say Cheers is a good choice. It does seem like a nice place because everybody's supportive of each other and everybody's like super alcoholic or whatever. Like think about Norm and Cliff. Like Cliff's delivering your mail like with one eye. Like, is this the right address?
It's just the fact that they go there every single day. Like they're there every single day. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but
Frasier's your fucking psychiatrist. You might as well go crazy.
And I like the characters there, so I think it'd be fun to hang out with them.
Real quick from the watch party, Jim's love the Ian Fleming references. Jim Seegert, this is him from Cincinnati. He did a report on Ian Fleming when I was in 8th grade. My teacher wasn't impressed. Well, your teacher can shove it because Ian Fleming was a sweet author.
We had some.
Go ahead, Ben.
We had some good, we really liked our English teachers in McGuanago because they let us do, Don't Cry by Guns N' Roses for our poetry unit and stuff. That was pretty awesome. Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Mr. Rick, he borrowed me. He borrowed me. He loaned me. He was an English teacher. He was an English teacher. It didn't take.
The Big Ben coming out in you.
Didn't take. No, he was a good teacher. He loaned me a Queen tape, I remember. So that was the first time I heard "I'm in Love with My Car." It was like he had a bunch of like Queen songs that I did not have because all I had was and actually this is going to be I'm putting up the 10 albums this week, and the first version of Queen's Greatest Hits I was going to put up, and that only goes to it's a certain one that only goes to the early 80s, like it ends at Flash Gordon. So there was Mr. Rick. Anyway, I borrowed a tape from a teacher, and when you borrow an album or whatever from a teacher, that blew my mind. That was like, are we gonna smoke grass next?
Cool.
Like what happened? You're like, what? I'm borrowing it using my teacher. Anyway, we had it wouldn't. But at our high school though, back in the 70s and 80s, they did have a smoking lounge, and the 18-year-old students would just have smoke breaks with teachers, which also blows my mind. They weren't busting kids and stuff like that. They were just like, you had one of those days too? You bet I did. Need a light?
We all need a break.
Right.
We all need
What a weird time.
So strange.
Ben, speaking of high school, what was in your high school locker?
A mirror, some stickers. There was this... that wasn't my notebook. I was going to say, I remember going down the hall and somebody got me with the spiral from their notebook, and I still have the scar right here on my elbow.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's nasty. Notes that had been passed or were about to be passed. Lots of drawings of guitars.
All right.
Made by me. Yes, I've never ever been a visual artist. I wasn't allowed in middle school art because I was so bad.
Come on.
In 6th grade art, they wouldn't let me in art in middle school. It was really bad. But what would I do in history class and stuff? I would draw guitars, and for example, and they were all named the Nevermore vampire, or so I put the fangs and the droplets of blood on my Fender Squier, and but yeah, I would draw all these guitars and stuff, and so I imagine there were a lot of those in there, and then 2 turkey sandwiches for lunch. So
all right, 2 turkey sandwiches.
There you go.
All right.
So Ben might have a line of guitars. He might have a future in guitar design.
There you go.
Repressed guitar designer.
Oh yeah, I could. I bet I could very much speak to the neck and pickup designs I would go for.
Did you have any posters inside your inside your high school locker, Ben? Any posters? Any girls? Anything like that?
Centerfolds.
Yeah.
No, with the girls, but the the guitarist though, I've got that big Reb Beach poster from Winger, that's still there's like I got a bunch of them at school, like a bunch of Rockstar posters that went straight from my dad's house when he sold his house, straight from my bedroom. I put them up in like the practice rooms and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
But there was that there was that smaller one that was autographed. It was one of those lithos. You remember lithos when we used to do lithos to like.
Yeah, we spent half of our fortune on them.
Yeah,
right.
we
Yeah,
spent so much money on
sending
autographs.
to clubs and stuff. Right. So probably one of those after I went to the guitar clinic with Rhett Beach. So
All right, nice.
yeah.
That's cool.
Nice, that sounds good. From the Peanut Gallery, we have Scott, Golden Girls, a sitcom to retire in before moving on to The Good Place.
Nice.
Hey, Mark says
That would be a fun one.
Mark says Three's Company because they were in walking distance of the Regal Beagle. Right?
Oh my God.
You're a regular somewhere. Now I've seen every episode of
Yeah.
Three's Company, and I was thinking about that would be like a sitcom I would live in, and I would probably be Larry. Would be my character. I would be Larry.
Nice.
But in reality, if I was living in a sitcom or whatever, it probably would end up being Red Dwarf, where I'm the last man in the
Hells
universe,
yes.
surrounded by a cat who hates me and a hologram who's a prick. So
And everybody's dead, Dave.
Everybody's
They're all dead.
dead. We're all
Everybody's
dead.
dead.
Everybody's dead.
Oh man!
Everybody's
So
dead,
I was
Dave.
gonna say, like, with my luck, it would be Red Dwarf at the end. George would want to live in Community. Sounds good. Dan Harmon, a big D&D guy, so at least you have some games in there.
Yeah. And plus Chevy Chase. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you could live. Scott would have lived
Archer.
in Archer. That'd be a fun one, I guess. And we're seeing a lot of support for Queen in the comments. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, I guess I should probably take a question.
Yeah, Mike, come on.
Come
on, MC.
This is a good one for me. What is your real favorite movie, and what movie do you pretend is your favorite to sound cultured? Now, I'm a film guy, but I really do love popcorn movies. I really do. I think, and so, like, I think popcorn movies have a lot more rewatchability than a lot of the critically acclaimed films. But
So when you say popcorn movie, you're talking about like something for the general public?
yeah,
The not snobby film.
right. So a popcorn movie
Audience.
would be like Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? Like something you're gonna watch 50 times. Or Wayne's World, which I watched 50 times. Or
Oh man, that was so great. Okay.
I'm saying the movie I watched most in my life would probably be Army of Darkness. Like, I've seen that movie. Like, I don't like to watch Ghostbusters anymore because I feel that it only should be brought out at certain times. Like, I feel like I've seen it enough where that now it's just masturbation if I watch it too much. So you kind of bring it back and you watch it when it's special. You want to keep it. You want to keep the sacredness of it. You want to keep the specialness of it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Army of Darkness I can just watch because it's just goofy and stupid and fun. But the movie that I would pretend to like, that's that I think that one's hard because I thought that I think that through the first half of Pulp Fiction, I was like, it took me a while to get it. And I think, like, with Quentin, I almost felt like this with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, you're like halfway through, you're like, oh, God. There are really great parts to it, and there's really great scenes. But would I want to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again? I don't think so. Because it's like, I saw it, and I appreciated it. And there were some great scenes, great acting, and he's always got those really tense moments that make the whole movie, like
Right.
like Christopher Weiss's famous scene in Inglourious Bastards. It's 20 minutes of him, of the Germans versus it's great. But would you want to sit through it again as your favorite? Probably not. So I think it would probably be a Quentin Tarantino movie to be like, oh yeah, well, how brilliant. The only thing I'll say is that I don't give a
That was Stewie from Family Guy just said that.
right. Well, that's how it sounds. I don't give a shit about Kill Bill. that to me is just Quentin Tarantino. Like they gave him too much money and too much time, and he forgot to write a good story. So I'll say that. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, dude, Kill Bill's kick ass. I get it. It just wasn't. It wasn't for me.
And this question is about what you like, not what you don't like.
True, you're right. I'm just saying that I would probably say something Tarantino-ish, or maybe I would go a little bit deeper and try to be culty about it and be like, well, if you haven't seen this movie, then you don't know. Like this Ty West made a movie called The House of the Devil, which everybody's like, this movie's so scary, it's so good, it's so horror, it's so... And then I watched it, I was like, I fell asleep. But, so that's the kind of thing. So I'd rather just go back and be like, you know what? I got a VHS of Army of Darkness, and I would rather go to Best Buy, find a used VCR, buy it, put an Army of Darkness, watch that, than sit through the second half of House of the Devil. Okay, Andy Pfeiffer masturbating the Ghostbusters. There is no Dana, only Zool, sir. Stu, I think all Tarantino movies take a while to get it. But the second half of Pulp Fiction,
I agree.
But the second half of Pulp Fiction, I was in. I
think I'm still figuring out Pulp Fiction.
I had seen Reservoir Dogs, and I enjoyed Reservoir Dogs all the way through. So I thought that everybody was talking about Pulp Fiction was the best, but the first half, you're like, oh, John Travolta's dancing again. Like, who made him cool again?
Well, everybody liked it so much the first time.
Right. But Scott, Young Frankenstein recently came up in conversation. Favorite culture pick is Brazil. It's an amazing movie, but not necessarily one I always want to watch. That's a good one. I think Terry Gilliam is a acquired taste because there's certain movies like The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which I think I could watch 10 times. And there's movies like 12 Monkeys, which I watched once, and I thought, I didn't like it. So, and Brazil is one of those where you don't necessarily want to subject yourself to it again. George, Kill Bill is Tarantino's popcorn movie. It's true. Ben, what do you got to say? Ben, chime it in.
I was just going to say I really liked Pulp Fiction. I had a hard time with From Dusk Till Dawn, though. Like, that one took me like 15 years to really appreciate that. And now when it comes on like TBS or something, in the middle of the night, I'm like, yes, now I'm excited about that.
Ben,
movie.
that is a great pick. I was thinking about that because I saw that the weekend it came out. Ben, you were probably there. We probably all went together.
Yeah, I was at the Orpheum.
Yeah, we all went to the Orpheum. We were like, man, it's George Clooney, Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez.
I think I was there too.
It probably was a group effort,
And you couldn't hear any of the dialogue. It was so boomy in there, like just a terrible place.
Yeah, just awful.
So we go see From Dusk Till Dawn, and you're like, what is this? And I felt really conflicted about it the next day because I'm like, you had half a good movie in there. But now, right, I watched it with my parents who hadn't seen it maybe 2 years ago, and I'm like, on TV, and I'm like, this movie's great. And my dad was laughing at all of Cheech's jokes and stuff like that. Like it was awkward during the PUSSY jokes or whatever.
Oh.
Like, because my dad starts roaring, laughing. And this is what happened to me in Pulp Fiction. I see it with my dad and my brother-in-law. And they're making these super foul jokes. And my father is just laughing. And I'm like, should I laugh at this joke? Should I let him know that I know what these jokes mean? So he's
80, dude. It's probably good now.
Yeah, now
you're
it's
probably
good.
okay.
Right. But this was 25 years ago. Okay, I'm sorry. We've been avoiding the people in the comments, and they've been throwing it down.
Avoiding?
Popcorn pick, Noises Off. Culture pick, Brokeback Mountain from Abby. I thought Brokeback Mountain was a great movie, but I can see where it's slow. And then it was popular, so you're like, hey, everybody. Mark Johnson, I was thinking of Reservoir Dogs when you were singing Stuck in the Middle earlier. Well, that's because Wendy was going to cut off my ear.
Stuck in the middle with you.
That's such a great part. Mark Johnson, my favorite movie is Tombstone. Is that a popcorn movie? Hell's yes, it's a popcorn movie. They have like a
good one.
First of all, Tombstone's directed by George P. Cosmatos, the director of Rambo: First Blood Part 2, which is also a popcorn movie. But Tombstone, you got so many great actors. Kurt Russell kills. Val Kilmer is like that's his career best.
Yes.
Sam Elliott. Who's the other brother?
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Paxton. We did a whole episode about Bill Paxton when he died. Like,
oh my gosh.
yeah, Tombstone and the bad guys. Michael Biehn from the Terminator's a bad guy. Powers Booth as an asshole named Curly. Tombstone. I would say that you can declare that one with pride.
That's my wife's favorite movie.
Yeah,
Alice
there
in
you go.
Really?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great movie.
I thought it was maybe Orgasmo.
She loves that movie too.
It's easy to love Orgasmo.
We all do. I mean, come
Spider-Man,
on.
Spider-Man 2 is the other.
Oh, man.
Those are her three favorite movies.
Okay.
Tombstone, Orgasmo, and Spider-Man 2.
I think Spider-Man 2 is like that was the greatest comic book movie up until the thing is the Avengers movies are great, right? Especially Infinity War
The
and
first one.
You know, the second one is a little slow, even though it's still great. They have that. There's one scene in the second one, like the very beginning, which is like a comic book that it's everybody's comic dream. They're all fighting like in a forest, and it looks like holy crap. But like Spider-Man 2 did it without 10 years of all these movies in preparation. Like Spider-Man, we had the first Spider-Man, which is a great movie. And speaking of Sam Raimi and Army of Darkness, the director, Spider-Man 2, like, I don't know. It was like a pinnacle of comic book movies up until the whole Marvel series. And so I think that's another one we saw together. It was an unbelievable movie. I was at a very vulnerable point in my life too, and I feel like that movie helped.
It's always good.
Sharon, the movie I will always stop and watch if I see flipping through the channels. Here we go. Lost Boys.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh, there you go.
I had the poster on my wall at the house that Ben and I bought together.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Highlander.
Oh yeah.
Number one. Heathers. Ooh, that's good. That's a good
great
pick.
one.
That's a classic.
Highlander, like the Highlander movies were so good. Like I even subjected myself to the series just to get a piece of the.
Nice.
Just because it's a great story.
Yes, it is. Highlander's a great story. The Commitments, which is about the Irish band. That's a good one. And the Guardians of the Galaxy. The first one. I like the second one too, but the first one is great.
Second one's a little slower. I just watched that one again last month.
Stu, I love A Time Paradox of 12 Monkeys. Terry said, no one has seen my favorite. It isn't a popcorn movie, though, at Heavy. At Play in the Fields of the Lord. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. It definitely isn't a popcorn movie, but it's a soul-stirring movie. Pamela coming through with an old school John Candy movie. Summer Rental as her popcorn pick.
Nice.
You know, when he puts up his pants as the sail at the end of that film, that is always... I've seen Summer Rental maybe 6 times. Richard Crenna is the bad guy. Richard Crenna makes a good... he plays as stuffy, kind of like Ted Knight played in Caddyshack. Stuffy, rich son of a bitch, and John Candy's the working man that comes up and puts his fucking pants as a sail and wins the regatta. Anyway, yeah, Summer Rental is an awesome movie. Her serious pick, the Richard Linklater trilogy, starting with Sunrise. Now that's one several years apart. Ethan Hawke and this hot French chick. I can't think of her name right now. Hot French chick, it's fine. But yes, it's like a relationship style movie. And Richard Linklater, great Austin director. He did Slacker. He did. You've seen his movies. He did the one with Robert Downey Jr. That was based on a Philip K. Dick novel we talked about on the podcast a while back. Anyway, the Sunrise trilogy is beautiful, and it's about relationships, and it's lovely, and it's Ethan Hawke and this chick at different points in their lives, like meeting up, and he's the guy that did the movie where the Boyhood that came out a couple years ago about the kid like through certain times in their lives. You'd all enjoy it. Okay, Julie Delpy, thank you, Terry. And I'm just like, hot French chick. Ooh. And she's bringing it home. From the watch party, Jim watches Raising Arizona to be happy and Apocalypse Now to not be happy. Fair enough.
Oh, that's a great.
Bart likes The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Very fine movie. Eli Wallach, obviously he's so good in that one. And Beetlejuice.
Oh, gosh.
Now, Ben,
yeah.
you used to have an HO for Beetlejuice. You love that one.
I still do. Like Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack.
Scanner Darkly. Thank you, Terry. I am not on my movie game tonight. Okay, we're going to jump into a song real quick because we've just been talking for a while, but it's fun to talk movies. It's fun to hang out. It is Thirsty Thursday where we just have drinks, talk, play music, and we love talking to you guys. That's the best part. My wife was saying something to me yesterday where she's like, well, I can see why, when you go down into the basement or whatever, you always come up in a good mood. And I'm like, why? She's like, because you get to talk to people for an hour and you get to hang out and tell jokes and have fun.
Like, down to the basement.
Right. When you get out of the basement, usually when you just got down in the basement, you come upstairs with a stain in your pants. But but Thursdays, we're always in a good mood. And why am I in a good mood? Because we get to hang out with everybody. Okay, so I know that Mark requested this song a couple of weeks ago, and I believe that it has finished downloading.
Oh, let's hope so.
Yes. So let's see if we can give you a little bit of Stardust.
I hope it uploaded.
Okay.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, I don't know if that finished.
It didn't have a little green check mark next to it.
No, it had.
That probably.
Yeah. Oh. We awoke at the end of an era. We came to life in the footnotes of time. We are stardust made conscious and breathing, orphans of the suns that have died. We are created, but we are the makers. We are lucid inside the dream time. We are the alphas and the omegas. We are what we choose to define. Love is the only law, and it cannot be killed. We are the stars, we are of stars. Love what you will. Love is the only law, and it cannot be killed. We are the stars, we are of stars. Love what you will. And the seraphim will sanctify the particles that illuminate the sky. Ooh, and the seraphim will sanctify always be a universe inside of me, and a magician that wants to be free. To be free. We awoke at the end of an era. We came to life in the footnotes of time. We are stardust made conscious and breathing, orphans of the suns that have died. Love is the only law, and it cannot be killed. We are the stars, we are of stars. Love what you will. Love is the only law, and it cannot be killed. We are the stars, we are of stars. Love what you will. Love is the only law, and it cannot be killed. We are the stars, we are of stars. Love what you will. Love is the only law, and it cannot be killed. We are the stars, we are of stars. Love what you will. Love what you will. Okay, what's going on, yo? Hey, did we lose Ben? Oh, there he is.
Hey!
Hey, y'all.
If that doesn't get you in the mood of the party, I don't know
Yes.
what does. No, I love the song.
Okay, so thank you for the nice comments, Megan. Definitely in my top two. Number one being Saturday Night Gospel. Oh, you know what? I forgot about Saturday Night Gospel. We'll put that in the list to try to work it up for coming soon.
Great co-video.
Yes. Sharon. Oh my God, love this version. Well, OMG to you too. Thank you so much.
Yay! Yay! It was worth
Terry
it.
dancing a little bit. Andy, Weirdest Hits is pretty incredible the whole way through, even if I don't like the second half of Archaeopteryx. Okay. All right.
Everybody's got their own.
He's like, or maybe I don't get it. Is what he? You know, we could talk about Archaeopteryx. That would be an interesting one to try. Wendy and I have actually done an acoustic version of that. We did it at Hyde Music.
I don't remember that.
Well, it was a while ago. Abby,
that memory.
one of my favorites, vocals, violin, and piano were all amazing. Great job. Mark, thanks, guys.
Abby?
That was truly awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for requesting it.
All the violin. No shit, huh? There's a lot of, I was outnumbered.
Well, I was excited because I was like, again, with the not doing it live, there's the option of adding layers on. So I was like, ooh, at the end, we always try to do a big build up at the end. So it's a nice opportunity to
Certainly is.
throw in some extra violins.
Cindy here, Ben. You got your dad here, and now your in-laws are here. I really enjoy it. Sunspot.
Steve.
Hi to all you. Hi, Cindy.
Awesome.
Hope things are going
Good
well.
to hear from you,
The
Cindy.
Michiganders. Oh, listening at work yesterday, Terry. So absolutely.
That's great.
Well, we sometimes
Thank
go
you.
through, and the ones that YouTube get cleaned up a little bit in a different way because obviously YouTube people can be fucking horrible to you. Eric from Racine. Hi, guys, and also a Patreon. So we got a TOAST 1, 2, 3.
Just starting to get thirsty. Oof.
You should do Pretend.
Happy.
Happy. We should do the death metal song. And I will make it. So if you guys haven't, our podcast, See You on the Other Side, we do songs every week. And if you guys haven't checked out our Other Side podcast stuff, please do. So we do songs every week to these podcasts, and then we take the best of those, or the ones that we think people will like the most, and then we bring them to the big studio and play them for everybody. Happy was one we did for, we were trying to tell happy ghost stories when this whole deal started 8 weeks ago. And then we did a song that was like a death metal-ish type song in a major key. And it was all about happy lyrics. But the funny part was, so I was trying to do death metal lyrics, and that shit's hard. That shit is hard to keep up for a long time.
It's rough on your vocal cords too. You got to be careful, man. Don't wreck those chords. You need those chords.
Right, these golden chords.
You need them to talk.
Notice she didn't say.
And sing.
Notice she didn't say sing.
Well, but I mean, obviously, singing is important too. But if you can't talk, then we can't coordinate practice and concerts.
Okay. And okay, this is a good question. This is a good music question, and actually a good thematic question for the point of the music. And it would be good to confirm what you were trying to say as Xers, which we are somewhere in the middle. We're close to the end of it, because I participate in the OK Boomer stuff too. I think thank you for asking that question, Eddie. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, he's referring to Archaeopteryx.
Archaeopteryx.
The bridge.
So in the
lyrics in the bridge.
The lyrics in the bridge are and all the boomers in the world you screw up, I want to eat you like a titan, beat you like I'm Tyson. To the millennials who never will shut up, I wish that Y2K had flushed you all away. That's a kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of saying that you felt like you were between those places. And so that whole song is about feeling like you're between, you're not in the right time for yourself. The Archaeopteryx, because I, did not realize that all dinosaurs had feathers 4 years ago or whatever. We were working on that song. So the idea of the Archaeopteryx was it was not a dinosaur and wasn't a bird. It was somewhere in the middle. It's a dinosaur with feathers. Now my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, walks around every time we see a bird. She's like, "Oh, that's a real live dinosaur, Daddy." And I'm like, "Yes, I know that now." But the idea of you're being between two areas. You don't feel like you're in the right time. You don't feel like you're in the right place. You feel like you're in the wrong area. And so it's easy to say that they had it way better in the 70s, or they have it way better today with social media. And so I think the point of that particular piece is that you always feel out of place. And when you feel out of place, you lash out. And you say, like, I want to eat you like a titan. The idea of the kids eating their parents. The parents, the kids eating their, parents. Zeus and everybody ate their parents. And the millennials, all you do is bitch, or the idea that they're the lazy or entitled, or the stereotypes that come out. You say, like, I just wish you all, like Y2K, the millennium. I wish it took care of you back then. So it's lashing out in the feeling of not feeling like you can fit in. And so, but that's a really good question. And so thank you for sharing that and asking. And you know what I love? I love that somebody listened to the words and had a question about it. You're like, oh shit, there's words? Yes, there are words too. Andy, this is great information. And Archaeops is one of my favorite Pokemon.
I didn't even know there was a Pokemon named that. That's cool.
It is hard to hear the lyrics in between all those guitar notes, isn't it?
Nice.
Especially that part.
So we should talk about the guitar notes, because that was one of those solos that so Mike programmed that solo originally on the like in MIDI.
I will tell you the truth. I played it. I didn't just program it.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Fair
and
enough.
He's like, you know what we should do? We should play that on guitar. And it's physically impossible to play
so Mike,
on guitar.
When you said you played it on the keyboard.
I played on the key. I played it on the keyboard.
Yeah.
On like the 25 key keyboard that I had in my apartment.
Right.
And I'm like, it sounds cool on a keyboard, but it sounds way cooler on a guitar.
So, but with the pedal notes, it's physically impossible to play like if you're playing a normal guitar. So I did an old Joe Satriani technique, and I took this finger, and instead of using it as a dampener, I used it as a right-handed capo for the left hand, and then played the melody up here. So you can change. It's like moving a capo. So you change the pedal note with your right hand as you're playing the riff with your left hand. And that was the only way to make that physically possible on a guitar. So anyway, like that one, and like Wonders, and there's one more, Sulfur, where it like started as a keyboard riff, and then like, hey, how do we put this on guitar? And it's really hard on guitar. It sounds easy, but like it's been cool to learn these like MIDI programmed, or in this case, MIDI played keyboard riffs, and make that possible on guitar. Not that anybody was talking about that, but somebody said Archaeopteryx, so I was like, all right, we're going to talk about this.
And here
now.
comes in Megan. Megan's like, hey, the Archaeopteryx guitar solo at that part is really awesome, and the song in general is just too real for the time. Well,
man.
And Megan was
Lashing
there
out.
when we played that in the rain at Broadfest, I believe.
Oh my gosh, she was at like the craziest Broadfest ever.
Right, when Mike was crawling around in the puddles and trying not to get struck by lightning and stuff.
That's amazing.
yeah, that's right, because I wasn't playing bass at that time.
Yeah.
And they were
Cindy comes in
squeegeeing the stage off.
Cindy comes in with Boomers Are Great. Of course.
Aw, Cindy's so sweet.
My parents are a little too old to be boomers, but the boomers are great. A lot of my relatives are. And,
they want the boomers to get off their lawn.
I think the idea, right. I think the idea is there's always going to be a fight between the generations. Like, that's how the world works. Because when you're young, you always want to be like, this is what you did. Now I want to prove myself. And so that was the idea of lashing out, especially when you have a generation like where Ben and Wendy and I were born, which is not as many people. So the needs of the millennials, who had, millions more people, and the boomers, who had millions more people, get, paid attention to more than it seems like ours did. And so that's why then you just get jaded and cynical, because you're like, yeah, they'll take care of them.
And also, like, it always seems like the people that are in the older phase of life are, like, oh, the world's going to hell. And then, like, the younger people are always like, no, they've got optimism because they still have their whole life to live and they're stuck here living it. So it's like, I'm not going to be so pessimistic and be like, everything's horrible. It's only getting worse. Like, no, we have hope. We have,
I hope I'm not pessimistic.
Positivity.
And I think we should.
Well, you're not old yet.
Well,
I mean, you are.
I'm old. We're 40,
no, but I mean
43.
Like,
we're all 43 now. Just that that's the fucking truth bomb tonight.
But I'm just saying, like, the cranky old get off my lawn kind of attitude of like, oh, this world is just going to hell, like that kind of thing. It seems like it's always the people in the oldest segment that are. And that's not everybody in the oldest segment, but it always seems like they are that way. But then the younger people always, they have a whole lifetime and they have kids and things.
Right.
Like, they have to be optimistic and they want to. So, anyway, it's just interesting.
There is, right. The world's fucked up right now, right? Like everything's messed up. Like, now everything's messed up and we don't know what's going to happen.
It's weird.
And then, like,
it's
you
weird.
can't prepare. And everybody's screaming at each other. This whole thing's entered the culture war now, so it's no longer a health thing, it's a political thing, and obviously political things in the United States are a shit show. However, when you realize that at least for the majority of the planet, war and famine, even though obviously those things affect a lot of places. I mean, the Syrians, what they've been doing for a decade, and it's hard what's going on there. And then, but most of the planet is in a better situation than they were 50 years ago, than they were 30 years ago, than they were 10 years ago. Most of the planet's doing better. There's less violence and less violent crime in the United States than there's been in 50 years. You know, like we grew up in the 80s, you would watch, there would be a murder on TV every night. Not televised, but someone would get murdered in Milwaukee every single day. And it's not like that anymore. So
It isn't.
no, it's not. It's not like it was. Like if you look at the statistics, crime was way up in the late 70s, early to mid 80s, and it's way down compared to now. Obviously, you'll have a mass shooting, and that will spike the things. But like regular people popping each other in the face or whatever is down. It's a happier time, and there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. That's all I'm trying to say is that when you look at the actual statistics of the planet, it's getting better. Okay, and so let's see if our friends are just like, you guys are fucking assholes.
Yeah, everything got dark really quick.
Well, I thought everything got positive, to tell you the truth.
We gotta.
Sharon says, "Screw you! I'm turning 50 in 2 months. You're all babies."
Wait a minute. Turning 50. That means. I mean, we need to party. We need to celebrate.
Sharon, we need to see you in Minneapolis in 2 months, and all hang out.
This is the part where we say you can't possibly be 50.
Sharon,
it's true.
I thought
you don't like 50.
Sharon,
not at all.
Not a day over 21, my friend.
But Vic, also,
Vic,
we're gonna have to party. Like,
que pasa, amigos? All right, quick cheers for Vic. Hope things are going well for you in Austin. 1, 2, 3, oofta.
Oofta.
Salt lick a lime.
I've seen more grumpy people older in Florida than Michigan. That might be true. And that's
interesting.
Weird.
That is weird because be happy because like you're in retirement, you're in a beautiful place, you're by the ocean and in the sun. Like that's where you should be happy.
And Ben,
right?
your dad's throwing out Chicago as an example of where crime has gone up. True. Like Chicago had a bunch of things happen. Where they moved the projects, things changed. A bunch of things happened in Chicago that did change it where it's more violent now than it was 20 years ago. And so if you live in Chicago, that's a rough part, in the rough part. But it's an outlier as far as trends in the country. But yes, a lot of people that live in that area, really, they've got it bad. And then that ends up being violence. Well, Stacy, I think at least is bringing us a dose of realism here because of the murder wasps. Yes,
no.
The murder hornets are coming, and so we are all fucked. So the thing is, if you get stung outside this year, you'll just die. So watch out for bees. If you get stung by a bee, you're done.
That's bad. That's scary.
But the thing,
all right, so
but the thing is that we're joking around about age and stuff like that, but it's like it does shape how you view the world, and it also shapes how we write songs and do things, and it's an interesting, as long as you can analyze it from a perspective of understanding that your age changes who you are a little bit. And I know that I'm not the same person I was when I was 21 or, 30, or I'm not the same person I am today. And so it's interesting how you evolve, and sometimes you evolve in ways that accentuate the positive, and sometimes you evolve in ways that accentuate the negative. And I hope that I can keep going in ways that accentuate the positive, and I hope we all can. There must be some hell portal up there in Washington. Well, I'm sure wherever there's politicians, there's a hell portal. H.H. Holmes, Murder Hornets. An acoustic version of Murder Castle might be fun. I don't know how we do it yet and keep it cool. But That's our I think that is Sunspot's most Nirvana-ish song. And they were able to do Unplugged, so maybe we can too. And Cindy...
Might be ridiculous, but hey, that's what quarantine videos are for.
It's all ridiculous. Cindy, age is only a number.
Yes, that's true, and you prove that.
I will
Cindy,
chug to
one of the most youthful spirits.
Yeah, dude, Cindy's fun as hell.
Yeah.
I don't even know how old Cindy is. She's super fun. So, and this is a cheers to you for believing that. 1, 2, 3. Oofda.
Oofda. Oh, my glass is getting so low. It's making me sad.
Oh, John.
Ben's getting low too.
Oh man, we got to toast to John real quick because he's in the watch party.
I escaped during the last one and got more, but it hath runneth, drieth.
Okay.
Against.
Okay, let's play a song and then we'll come back.
We should probably do another
and
song.
We'll do a quick toast to John. John in the watch party says, in New York Times, they had an article on how some people in Japan love eating murder wasps.
No,
And
that's nasty.
If you guys haven't watched the...
Is it Revenge?
Is it grasshopper or or a praying mantis eating the brain of a murder wasp?
Mm-hmm.
It's already has like 2.5 million views. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It's just like somebody put a murder wasp in with like a praying mantis, and it just ate its head. And not like this, like a comic book, like a couple of bugs, like this. Over the course of a minute, it eats the head. So, if you're afraid of murder wasps, don't be, because the praying mantises are going to eat their brains, and we're all going to be fine. Life finds a way, as Ian Malcolm said.
We need to breed more praying manti.
Okay, so the last song tonight, is Eat Up My Heart. This is the one I was waiting for in the beginning to finish rendering, and here it is. Okay, so we'll come back, we'll have another drink, and then we'll say goodnight to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're having the best time. And this is a hard, difficult, weird time. And you guys spending time with our music and enjoyment and Thursday nights and all this kind of stuff makes the whole week. And I was going to say, we've been recording more songs than we have in years. And so this has been, to know that there's an audience to listen to them has been a really joy. So this one goes out to your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. Fuck them.
Ooh.
Da 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 da. Well, I waited so long for you to call, but now you're finally here and I'm alright. I worked out a little, I even did my hair, but I'm not the man I used to be back there. I hope you have an ugly boyfriend. I hope you're working at a car wash. I hope your life went down the drain and everything is not okay. I hope your best years pass you up. Well, I dodged a bullet, wanted to sin sand, but you ain't the only one who calls me up. But I'm still the asshole who listens to your problems, but I never told you all those times I wish your mask fell off at Walmart. I hope you have an ugly boyfriend. I hope you're working at a car wash. I hope your life went down the drain yeah. Okay. Well, that's the feel-good song of the year.
Good Lord.
Okay, so John's in on
Good
the watch
job.
party. So real quick, let's do a quick
yeah.
oofda. Eins,
Yes,
zwei, three.
John.
Oofda. John,
Hope
Patreon.
you're doing well, John.
And to all, love the dancing Wendy.
Thank you. Had to get my cardio in.
Multiplicity starring Wendy.
Oh man. Hey,
And-
Ben too. There were multiple Bens.
There were. George is like,
Yeah, I didn't
more
see
where's Ben?
I didn't see the piano video though.
You didn't send a piano video.
What?
I didn't get it. Only one mic.
You guys talk about this.
That's because there's only one mic, George. No, I didn't. I do not have a piano video that I did not get. But if there is one, send it over, and then we'll get it in the YouTube. So the thing is that was the one say I was like that was the one cheat we had is you couldn't watch Ben play piano on that.
Right.
And
yeah, we had the
we haven't cheated
piano
on anything.
parts. Person, a video of Ben playing.
If you want cardio work fulfillment at Target like I do, well, I'm
sure. That's got to be a good workout. The store is enormous.
Just keep Wendy out of the middle of that.
Thank you. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Here, just put me in the left square.
So no, we'll get the piano video and then we'll have it up on the YouTube and Facebook. We'll get those videos up.
Usually we do some refining after we debut the live here.
Yeah.
You get to see it first in its rawest format, and then if there's any tweaking or sharpening to do, we can do that before we actually upload it to the YouTube and the Facebook channels. So what you're seeing here is special. It's unlike anything anyone else.
Because we just
That's the benefit of watching live.
We work on this shit all day. Oh, hold on, real quick. We get a quick shout out to Wendy and Ken from Cincinnati.
Candy!
Yes, hope you guys are doing well.
Oh, I miss you
Good luck to you.
guys. Hope
Too
you're
bad
doing
about
well.
the Reds.
I heard. Too bad about the Reds, is what Ben said. I heard Ohio's opening
and
up
the
in
Brewers and all of MLB. But
Baseball smack talk.
I heard
There you go.
Ohio's opening up on the 15th, so hopefully everything will start. You can see some baseball games. You can see what happens.
That's weak.
So if you guys enjoyed any of the stuff that we've been doing, obviously we always drink to our Patreons, patreon.com/sunspotmusic, and we'd like to drink to you too. So make sure you check that out if that's something you're interested in. Supporting, having fun, all that kind of stuff. We
appreciate everybody.
Oh.
Thank you for following us and for watching our videos, listening to our music. We appreciate every single thing you do. And, if you feel like doing a little extra and joining the Patreon,
yes,
thank you. We appreciate that as so much. But, we do appreciate even if you can't do the Patreon, we completely understand.
Or
it's a weird time. And
even if you just send us an email that says, I like your band, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
or share a link, something like that. Just all those little things mean so much to us. So thank you.
But the thing is, this is the hardest thing I've worked at in my life. And so every single person that says they enjoy it makes it worth it. And so thank you so much for all the fun and everything. So what else is... Wendy says... put on Wendy from Cincy. She's like, hey, miss you guys. Go Reds. Okay. You know what? I don't think that the Brewers should compete with the Reds. I think the Brewers should only compete with the Reds in one thing, and that's the World Series.
The World Series.
Because the Brewers should not be in the National League.
Well, you were going to say the sausage race.
Yeah, just saying. I stopped being interested in the Brewers when all they wanted to do was have a issue with the Cubs
instead of the White Sox.
Yeah, the White Sox was it was just a much better kind of fight. Anyway,
so I went to a Brewers White Sox game when I was a lad, and the only tickets that were left for the game were in the Chicago fan section of County Stadium, and the Brewers fans dumped beer on us because they thought we were Chicago fans. And I would, I'm like 9, and I'm like, what's going on? If my dad's still on, he could probably speak to that. But of course, I didn't understand that as a lad.
Right. Yeah, that's scary when you're a kid.
That's Brewers fans being total pricks. I had that experience at Soldier Field during the Brett Favre glory days of the Green Bay Packers. My father and I go down to Soldier Field to watch the Packers play the Bears. And the Packers score a touchdown, and my dad and I are wearing Packers green and gold in deep Bear territory.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so we stand up, we're like, yeah! Somebody throws a fucking hot dog at my face. I'm like 14 years old. I'm like, yeah! Oh, it slaps me.
Somebody got blindsided by...
Somebody slaps me in the face with a hot dog because the Packers scored a touchdown. Right, a Chicago dog.
She got slapped by a Chicago dog.
I got slapped by a Red Hot. It just made me, that's just, just classic kind of thing. So, Ben, I don't think you're alone in people hating the other team.
I also remember a Brewers game where there was a large group of people from South Milwaukee, and I don't know, the Chicago contingent that was at this particular Brewers game must not have known about the city of South Milwaukee. And they took it as an insult to Chicago when the announcer was like, hey, we'd like to welcome all our friends from, blah, 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 from South Milwaukee. And every Chicago person in the stadium booed the announcer because they thought they were making fun of Chicago, calling it South Milwaukee.
I see, sure.
Oh my God.
You see how that works?
That's brutal.
And that's funny because...
That poor guy.
Because my brother-in-law, his in-laws live in North Chicago. So just like there's a South Milwaukee, there's also a North Chicago.
Interesting.
And they are both equally dangerous. Just saying, my wife spent a New Year's Eve there, and she's like, yeah, I thought they were fireworks, just guns. Cheers to all our Patreons that joined us tonight. If you guys are interested, please check out patreon.com/sunspotmusic, and then we got some stuff for you coming up.
And we're working on having even more stuff.
Yes, that's the whole point. Is that
because the Patreon community is growing, and it's making it so that we can actually do way more cool stuff, which is really exciting. So thank you.
And as soon as we can get the fuck out of town, we're going to be going out, playing shows, doing things in new places. Right, and we will come to your house and get you.
No, but we would love to come and visit you and play some songs for you.
Absolutely. So everybody out there.
And you.
So, okay, Thirsty Thursday, we had a great time. Everybody who joined us, this is a really fun thing. And I know I kind of say this every time, but it was funny. I was watching Westworld on Sunday. And
no spoilers.
I won't. I watch it on HBO Now or whatever, and I'm waiting for the HBO streaming service. But I watch it on HBO Now, and instead of the usual HBO commercial, they have a thing where all these HBO actors come at you and say it's okay not to be okay. It's okay, if you're not okay, if you need someone to talk to. I think this is the point we've reached. Yeah. Where it's no longer like this is gonna be over in a couple weeks. It's not, like Wisconsin. We're waiting until we can have a normal life again, and we don't know when it's gonna be. And I get that Bill Gates has a lot to answer for, but I don't know if it's the one world government or vaccines. Bill Gates has to answer for all his fucking. I was a Windows tech support person, so he has a lot more to answer for me. So when people are like, no, Bill Gates is innocent, I'm like, no, he's not. Just not what do you think he's innocent of?
Bill Gates has to answer for Microsoft Edge and trying to disguise it as not Internet Explorer new generation.
He has to answer for all the bullshit that was put in Windows in the 90s that could have made my life easier.
I don't want to talk about Windows today. My computer, like my display stopped working randomly because of a Windows update that happened over last weekend. Like all of my audio stuff broke. And I need that stuff.
Yes.
I need it so I can make videos for you guys.
Yes. And that's the whole point. Right. The thing is, no matter whatever side you're on, like that doesn't matter right now. We have to live the lives we were given.
Right.
And the best we can do is spend some time together, hang out, have fun. And that's always going to be the situation of the plebes. And that's where we're at. So let's enjoy ourselves, enjoy being together, and enjoy jokes and fun and the best we can. And
wait, high fives?
And it's okay to be not okay. Like during this weird time, it's okay to be like, I'm freaking out. And you should. You know, but we're going to get through it and get on the other side. So will see. Right. Eric's like Windows Vista, Windows ME. Right. Oh. It's crimes. The list of atrocities grows. Yes. If you had to support that shit, the atrocities grows. So Bill Gates has a lot to answer for. Like, is he trying to microchip us? No. But did he fuck us? Yes. Anyway, the idea is it's a weird time. So let's just keep doing the best we can, and we will come back and keep doing the best we can for as long as we need, because rock and roll and music and art.
Goonies never say die.
Right. Art is about finding the beauty in the hard things, right? Thank you, Bono. We were joking about this last week. But that's what it's about. So let's just keep doing it, and let's just keep having fun. So everybody out there, if you like what you hear tonight, patreon.com/sunspotmusic. Tell your friends. Everybody point down. Yes. Check that out. If you like our band, that's the place to go. If you don't like our band, www.fuckoff.com. Just kidding. Just kidding. Hey, Thirsty Thursday, you guys are the best. We love you. Thank you so much. And we will see you.
See you next week.
Actually, if you're into the paranormal stuff, we'll be talking to Nick Redfern on Sunday. Nick Redfern, who is a great paranormal writer, just released a book on the Rendlesham UFO incident in England from 1980, and he's got a new take on it. We'll be talking about it live on Sunday. And then next Tuesday, we're going to have some more acoustic songs, and next Thursday, we're going to get drunk on camera. Everybody, stay out of trouble, stay healthy, but most importantly, stay positive and know that we're going to come out on this other side, and we are going to party and have fun, and it's all going to be rock and roll again. Good night.
And thanks for sticking it through with us. Night-night.